The Great Hall of Nexus Prime was filled with voices from across the galaxy. Captain Hansol stood at the human table, watching as representatives from 847 different species took their seats. Some walked on two legs, like humans. Others floated in the air or crawled on many legs. The hall was so big that Hansol could barely see the far end. "Are you ready for this?" asked Dr. Kim Yuna, sitting beside him. She was Earth's best expert on alien cultures. Her hands were shaking a little. "We have waited 50 years for this day," Hansol replied. "We are ready." Ambassador Lee Do-hyun nodded from across the table. He was the oldest human in the room, with gray hair and tired eyes. He had spent 20 years talking to aliens, trying to make them understand that humans were good people. The Speaker of the Council stood up. He was a Vorthon, tall and thin with blue skin. His voice was loud and clear. "Today we vote on the membership of species 2847b, known as humans from the planet Earth," he announced. "For 50 years, they have asked to join our federation. Today, we decide." Hansol felt his heart beat faster. Earth had done so much to prove they belonged here. Human doctors had saved millions of alien lives. Human engineers had built space stations for species that could not build their own. Human soldiers had fought in 3 wars to protect innocent people. The first vote came from the Zentari Collective. Their representative was a creature that looked like a giant spider made of crystal. The Zentari vote? "No," it said in a voice like breaking glass. Hansol blinked. That was strange. Just 2 years ago, humans had saved the Zentari from a terrible disease. Without human medicine, half their people would have died. The next vote came from the Kalari Union. Hansol knew them well. Humans had rescued their colony ships when they were lost in space. "The Kalari vote no," said their representative. "Doctor." Kim Yuna looked confused. "This doesn't make sense," she whispered. "We helped them find their new homeworld." One after another, the votes came in. The Morphic Confederacy voted no. The Spiral Alliance voted no. The Hegemony of Worlds voted no. Species that humans had helped, species that humans had saved, species that humans had protected, all of them voted no. Ambassador Lee Do-hyun watched with sad eyes. He had seen this before in smaller meetings, but he had hoped today would be different. The Aquatic Federation votes no. The Silicon Syndicate votes no. The Energy Collective votes no. The votes kept coming. Hansol felt like he was falling into a deep hole. How could this be happening? What had humans done wrong? Dr. Kim Yuna was writing in her notebook. She was making a list of every species that voted against them. Her face was calm, but Hansol could see anger in her eyes. The Binary Consciousness votes no. The Hive Mothers vote no. The Crystal Empire votes no. After 2 hours, the voting was almost over. 791 species had voted no. Only 56 had abstained, which meant they chose not to vote. Not a single species had voted yes for humanity. The Vorthon speaker stood up again. His blue face showed no emotion. "Before we announce the final result, I will speak for the Council," he said. "We have watched humans for 50 years. We have seen their actions and studied their nature. Yes, they have helped many species. Yes, they have shown bravery in battle. But humans have one great flaw." The hall became very quiet. Hansol could hear his own breathing. "Humans are too volatile," the speaker continued. "They are too emotional. They feel anger too quickly. They feel sadness too deeply. They feel joy too strongly. This makes them unpredictable. In the civilized galaxy, we need species that are calm and controlled. We need species that think before they act. Humans are not ready for membership in our federation." Hansol wanted to shout. He wanted to tell them they were wrong, but he stayed quiet. The final vote is 791 against, 56 abstentions, and 0 in favor. The request for human membership is rejected. The hall was silent for a long moment. Then alien voices began to talk quietly among themselves. Some seemed happy. Others seemed worried. Captain Hansol stood up slowly. Dr. Kim Yuna and Ambassador Lee Do-hyun stood with him. The three humans walked to the center of the hall. Everyone watched them. "We understand your decision," Hansol said. His voice was calm and clear. "We do not agree with it, but we understand it. Earth asked to join your federation because we believed in unity. We believed that different species could work together to make the galaxy better." He paused and looked around the Great Hall. "You have told us that humans are too emotional, too unpredictable, too dangerous for civilized society. We accept your judgment. Earth will not ask again." The Vorthan speaker seemed surprised. He had expected humans to argue or get angry. Instead, Hansol bowed politely. "We thank you for your time." Hansol continued. "We will leave your space and return to our own worlds. We will remember this day, and we will remember who was here." The three humans walked toward the exit. Their footsteps echoed in the quiet hall. At the door, Hansol stopped and turned back. "One last thing," he said. "You said humans are unpredictable. You are right. But you made one mistake. You assumed that being unpredictable is always bad. Sometimes being unpredictable means finding new ways to solve old problems. Sometimes it means doing what others think is impossible." He smiled, but it was not a happy smile. "You will learn what human unpredictability really means. Goodbye." The three humans left the hall. Behind them, 847 alien species sat in uncomfortable silence. Many of them suddenly felt like they had made a terrible mistake. On the human ship, Dr. Kim Yuna opened her notebook. She had written down the name of every species that voted against them. 791 names. She would not forget any of them. "What do we do now?" she asked. Ambassador Lee Do-hyun was already typing a message to Earth. The message was short. "Initiate Protocol Omega." Captain Hansol looked out the window at the stars. Somewhere out there was Earth, and 23 human colony worlds. They had been rejected today, but they were not defeated. "Now we show them what humans can really do," he said quietly. The ship turned away from Nexus Prime and jumped into hyperspace, heading for home. Behind them, the Galactic Federation continued their meeting, not knowing that they had just made the biggest mistake in galactic history. On Earth, President Kim Jae-hyuk received the message. He read it 3 times, then walked to his window. He could see the orbital stations that surrounded Earth and the ships that protected human space. 50 years we tried to join them, he said to his aide. Now we'll show them why they needed us more than we needed them. He pressed a button on his desk. Across human space, secret orders went out to every colony, every station, every ship. The message was simple. Time to come home. Humanity stands alone now. The rejection was complete. But for humans it was not an ending, it was a beginning. Director Park Min-ho sat in his office on Earth, looking at a list of names on his computer screen. The list was very long. It showed every human who worked in Federation space: doctors, engineers, teachers, traders, and diplomats. There were over 2 million names. "Sir, the orders are ready," said his assistant, bringing him a stack of papers. "Send them out," Park Min-ho said quietly. "Every human in Federation space comes home, no exceptions." The orders went out across the galaxy in minutes. On medical stations, human doctors stopped their work and packed their bags. On trade worlds, human merchants closed their shops. On colony ships, human engineers shut down the systems they had built. Dr. Song Hye-rim was working in a hospital on the Zentari homeworld when she got the message. She was in the middle of treating Zentari children who had a rare disease. Only humans knew how to cure it. "I have to leave," she told the Zentari doctor beside her. "But the children will die without your treatment," the Zentari said, his crystal body flashing with worry. Dr. Song looked at the sick children. It hurt her heart to leave them, but her orders were clear. "I'm sorry," she said, and walked away. On the trade world of Nexus 7, engineer Baek Jin-woo was fixing a broken water system. Without clean water, 50,000 aliens would get sick. He got the message and stopped working immediately. "Where are you going?" asked a local alien. "If you don't fix this, people will die." "That's not my problem anymore," Baek Jin-woo said. He had never spoken like that before, but today was different. All across Federation space the same thing was happening. Humans were leaving their jobs and going home. They didn't argue, they didn't explain. They just left. General Choi Hye-jin stood in the war room on Earth, watching reports come in from across the galaxy. She was a tall woman with short hair and cold eyes. She had been preparing for this day for 20 years. "Report," she said to her aide. "All human military units are withdrawing from Federation space," the aide said. "The peacekeeping force on Rigel 4 is coming home. The patrol ships protecting the trade routes are leaving their posts. The defense stations we built are shutting down." General Choi nodded. "Good. What about our special projects?" "All construction crews are returning to human space. The Federation doesn't know about the orbital rings yet, but they will soon." On the planet Vega Prime, the Federation Emergency Council was meeting. They had called the meeting because strange things were happening all over their space. "The humans are all leaving," said the Kalari representative. "Every single one of them. Our hospitals are closing because we don't have enough doctors." "It's the same on our worlds," said a representative from the Aquatic Federation. "The humans built our underwater cities. Now they're gone and we don't know how to fix anything that breaks." The Vorthan counselor who had spoken against humans at Nexus Prime looked worried. "This is exactly what I feared. Humans are too emotional. They're angry because we rejected them." "Maybe we should talk to them," suggested someone from the Crystal Empire. "No," said the Vorthan. "We made the right choice. Let them go. We don't need them." But they were wrong. The Federation needed humans more than they knew. On the mining world of Asteroid Belt 9, the life support systems started failing. Human engineers had built them and maintained them for 30 years. Now there were no humans left to fix them. 10,000 miners had to be evacuated. The jump gate network that connected different parts of the galaxy began having problems. Humans had designed the computer systems that kept the gates working. Without human technicians, the gates started shutting down one by one. Professor Kang Ji-woo was Earth's expert on galactic economics. He sat in his office looking at charts and graphs on his wall. The numbers told a clear story. "How bad is it?" asked Director Park Min-ho, who had come to visit him. "Very bad," Professor Kang said. "The Federation economy depends on human workers. We fix their machines, heal their sick, teach their children, and protect their trade routes. Without us, everything falls apart." "How long do they have?" 6 months before major systems start failing. 2 years before complete collapse. Director Park smiled. It was not a nice smile. "Good." Meanwhile, on the Zentari homeworld, the plague was getting worse. Dr. Song Hye-rim had been the only doctor who knew how to treat it. Now she was gone, and Zentari children were dying every day. The Zentari government sent a message to Earth. "Please send Dr. Song back. We will pay anything you ask." Earth's reply was short and cold. "The Galactic Federation has decided that humans are not suitable for participation in galactic affairs. We respect this decision and will not interfere in Federation business." Similar messages came from dozens of worlds. The water system on Nexus 7 had broken completely. The mining colonies were running out of air. The trade routes were becoming dangerous without human patrol ships. Every time Earth gave the same answer. "We are not suitable for galactic affairs." Captain Yu Tai-min was preparing his ship for a special mission. He was young for a captain, only 35 years old, but he was one of Earth's best explorers. "Where are we going, sir?" asked his first officer. "Beyond Federation space," Captain Yu said. "We're going to explore places no one has ever seen before." "Is that safe, sir? The Federation maps show nothing but empty space out there, Captain." Yu smiled. "The Federation doesn't know everything. There are secrets in the dark between the stars. We're going to find them." In orbit around Earth, massive construction projects were taking place. Huge metal rings were being built around the planet. They were so big that they could be seen from the ground at night. Similar rings were being built around every human colony world. The Federation spy satellites tried to take pictures, but the humans jammed their signals. All the Federation could see were blurry images of enormous structures that didn't match any known technology. "What are they building?" asked the Vorthon counselor. "We don't know," admitted the Federation's chief spy. "The energy readings are incredible. Whatever it is, it's bigger than anything we've ever seen." On Earth, engineer Nam So-young stood on the observation deck of the orbital construction platform. She was watching the Great Ring take shape around Earth. It was beautiful and terrifying at the same time. "How long until it's finished?" asked General Choi Hee-jin, who had come to inspect the work. 3 months, Nam So-young replied. "The other colony worlds will finish theirs at the same time. And then? Then we show the galaxy what humans can really do." Back in Federation space, things were getting worse every day. 3 small wars had started when human peacekeepers left their posts. Trade routes were collapsing without human protection. Entire worlds were losing power because humans weren't there to maintain the systems. The Vorthon counselor called another emergency meeting. "Perhaps we made a mistake," said the Kalari representative. "Maybe we should invite the humans back." "Absolutely not," the Vorthon said. "This proves we were right. Look how they're acting. They're trying to punish us for rejecting them. This shows how dangerous they are." But some Federation members weren't so sure. They were starting to think that maybe humans weren't the dangerous ones. Maybe the dangerous thing was making humans angry. On the edge of Federation space, long-range sensors picked up something strange. Human ships were moving through areas that had never been explored before. But they were moving impossibly fast, faster than any known technology could achieve. "How are they doing that?" asked a Federation scientist. "We don't know," his colleague replied. "It's like they found a completely new way to travel through space." The reports were sent to the Federation Council, but most members ignored them. They were too busy dealing with the problems in their own territory. Food shortages, system failures, and small wars were breaking out everywhere. Director Park Min-ho received all these reports with satisfaction. The Federation was falling apart exactly as Professor Kang had predicted. But this was only the beginning. "Phase 1 is complete," he told General Choi in their secure meeting room. "All humans are out of Federation space. Their systems are failing." "What about Phase 2? The general asked. "Captain Yu's exploration mission has found something interesting. Very interesting. Dr. Shin Yoon-ji thinks it might change everything." General Choi raised an eyebrow. "The archaeologist? What did she find?" "Something old, something powerful, something the Federation never knew existed. Outside Earth's atmosphere, the Great Ring continued to grow. Soon it would be finished, and then the galaxy would see what humans could do when they were no longer trying to fit in. The Federation had rejected humanity. Now humanity would show them the cost of that rejection." 6 months had passed since humans left Federation space. Captain Yoon Tae-min stood on the bridge of his exploration ship, looking at something that should not exist. In front of him was a dead planet covered in strange metal buildings that glowed with soft blue light. "Are you seeing this?" asked his science officer, Lieutenant Park Dae-yoon. "I'm seeing it, but I don't believe it," Captain Yoon replied. "Run a full scan." The planet was in a region of space that Federation maps said was empty, but the planet was not empty. It was covered with technology that was millions of years old, yet still working perfectly. Dr. Shin Yoon-ji, the ship's archaeologist, was almost shaking with excitement. She had studied ancient civilizations her whole life, but she had never seen anything like this. "Captain, we need to land," she said. "This could be a precursor site." The precursors were a legend. Stories said they were the first intelligent species in the galaxy, millions of years before any current civilization existed. Most scientists thought they were just a myth. "Are you sure it's safe?" Captain Yoon asked. "The energy readings are stable," Lieutenant Park reported. "Whatever this technology is, it's been working perfectly for a very long time." They landed their ship near one of the glowing buildings. Dr. Shin led a team inside carrying scanners and cameras. What they found inside made them all stop and stare. The building was full of machines that hummed quietly with power. Holographic displays showed star maps of the entire galaxy, and in the center of the room was a device that looked like it could tear holes in space itself. "It's a wormhole generator," Dr. Shin whispered. "The precursors could travel anywhere in the galaxy." Instantly, while Captain Yoon's team was making their discovery, things were getting much worse in Federation space. The Zentari plague had spread to 3 more worlds. Without human doctors, thousands were dying every day. The Federation Council met in emergency session on Nexus Prime. The Great Hall that had once held 847 species now had empty seats everywhere. Many species had stopped coming to meetings because they were too busy dealing with problems at home. "We need to contact Earth," said the Kalari representative. "People are dying." "Absolutely not," said the Vorthan counselor. "We will not beg humans for help. We are a proud civilization." "Pride doesn't cure diseases," snapped someone from the Crystal Empire. "My people are starving because the human farmers left our agricultural worlds." The Aquatic Federation representative floated in his water tank, looking very worried. "Our underwater cities are flooding. Only humans knew how to maintain the pressure systems." "Then learn to fix them yourselves," the Vorthan said coldly. But learning would take years, and the Federation didn't have years. Every day, more systems failed. Trade ships were getting lost because the navigation networks were breaking down. Pirates attacked merchant vessels because human patrol ships were gone. On Earth, engineer Nam So-young watched as the final piece of the orbital ring locked into place. The massive structure now surrounded the entire planet like a metal wedding ring. Similar rings had been completed around all 23 human colony worlds. "It's beautiful," she said to General Choi Hyojin, who had come to see the finished project. "It's more than beautiful," the general replied. "It's the future." The rings were not just decoration. They were the most advanced manufacturing facilities ever built. Each ring could produce enough starships, habitats, and technology to supply an entire fleet. But that was not their most important feature. Dr. Lim Hyun-woo had been studying the precursor technology that Captain Yoon's team had discovered. He was Earth's best scientist, and even he was amazed by what he was learning. "The wormhole generators are incredible," he told Director Park Min-ho in his laboratory. "They can create stable passages across thousands of light years. We could travel from Earth to the far side of the galaxy in minutes." "Can we build them?" Director Park asked. "I think so." The precursors left detailed instructions. "It's like they wanted someone to find this technology and use it." Director Park smiled. "How long will it take?" "Give me 3 months." Meanwhile, Federation spy satellites finally managed to get clear pictures of the human orbital rings. The images were sent to the Federation Council immediately. "What are we looking at?" asked the Vorthan counselor. "Manufacturing facilities," replied the Federation's chief scientist. "But the scale is impossible. Each ring could build 1,000 starships at the same time. That's not possible with known technology." "Exactly. The humans have developed something far beyond our capabilities." The counselor felt a cold fear in his chest. What if the humans were not just withdrawing? What if they were preparing for something else? His fears grew stronger when the next report arrived. Long-range sensors had detected human ships moving through unexplored regions of space at impossible speeds. Some ships had traveled distances that should have taken months in just a few hours. "How are they doing this?" he demanded. "We don't know, sir. It's like they've discovered a completely new form of space travel." On the dead precursor world, Dr. Shin Yoonji had made another discovery. Deep inside the largest building, she found a message. It was written in an ancient language, but the precursor computers translated it automatically. "To those who come after us," the message began. "We were the first, but we will not be the last. We leave this technology for the species that will surpass us. Use it wisely. Use it to unite the galaxy, not divide it." Dr. Shin felt tears in her eyes. The precursors had not disappeared. They had simply moved on to something greater, leaving their gifts behind for whoever was worthy to find them. Back on Earth, the first human ships equipped with precursor wormhole technology were ready for testing. Admiral Bae Subin commanded the test fleet from her flagship. "All ships report ready," said her communications officer. "Open the wormhole to System 7 Alpha," Admiral Bae ordered. Space in front of the fleet began to twist and bend. A tunnel of swirling energy opened, showing stars that were 50,000 light-years away. "Incredible," whispered the Admiral. "All ships, proceed through the wormhole." The human fleet disappeared through the tunnel and emerged on the other side of the galaxy in less than a minute. What they found there made everyone gasp. 12 star systems, each with habitable planets. Each system showed signs of ancient precursor colonies, with technology still working after millions of years, and each system was completely uninhabited. "It's like they left it all for us," said Commander Kim Woo-jin from one of the scout ships. "Begin colonization procedures," Admiral Bae ordered. "We're going to build something amazing here." While humans were discovering new worlds, the Federation was falling apart. The Vorthon government had collapsed when their people learned the truth about the vote against humanity. Riots had broken out on dozens of worlds. 7 different species had withdrawn from the Federation completely. The Centauri Collective was the most desperate. Half their population was dead from the plague and the other half was dying. Their leader, Queen Zara, sent a personal message to Earth. "Please," the message said, "we are dying. We will give you anything you ask. Just send your doctors back." Earth's reply was the same as always. The Galactic Federation determined that humans are not suitable for participation in galactic affairs. "We respect this decision," but something new was added to the message. "However, if any species wishes to leave the Federation and establish independent relations with humanity, we are open to discussion." It was the first crack in Earth's wall of silence. And the Federation Council knew it was the beginning of the end. "They're trying to steal our members," the Vorthon counselor said angrily. "Maybe our members want to be stolen," replied the Kalari representative. "Maybe we made a terrible mistake." The Vorthon glared at him. "We will never admit we were wrong about humans." But across the galaxy, Federation species were starting to think that being wrong about humans was better than being dead without them. Dr. Lim Hyun-woo stood in his laboratory, watching the first human-built wormhole generator come to life. The machine was smaller than the precursor versions, but it worked perfectly. Blue energy swirled in the center, creating a tunnel through space and time. "Test successful," he announced to the team around him. "We can now travel anywhere in the galaxy instantly." Admiral Bae Subin had been waiting for this moment. Her exploration fleets were ready to search every corner of the galaxy. With wormhole technology, they could reach places that would have taken centuries to explore. "Begin Operation Deep Search," she ordered. "Find every precursor site in the galaxy." The human exploration fleets spread out across the galaxy like seeds in the wind. Each ship carried a small wormhole generator, allowing them to travel vast distances in seconds. What they found was beyond anyone's dreams. Precursor technology was everywhere. Hidden bases on dead moons, automated factories on abandoned planets, massive space stations drifting in empty space, still powered after millions of years. And all of it was waiting for someone to find it. Captain Lee Sang-ho discovered a precursor shipyard that could build starships the size of cities. Commander Park Ji-min found a research station with technology that could create new forms of matter. Lieutenant Colonel Kim Hae-won discovered a facility that could terraform entire planets in just a few years. But the most important discovery came from Captain Yoon Taemin's team. Deep in the galactic core, they found the precursor's greatest secret, a massive computer that contained the sum of all their knowledge. "It's like a library," Dr. Shin Yoon-ji explained in her report to Earth. "But instead of books, it contains the complete scientific knowledge of the most advanced civilization that ever existed." The computer was willing to share its knowledge, but only with species that passed certain tests. The tests were about wisdom, compassion, and the ability to work together for the common good. Humans passed every test. While humans were discovering the secrets of the galaxy, the Federation was dying. The Centauri Collective was down to its last few thousand survivors. The Aquatic Federation had lost half their underwater cities to flooding. The Crystal Empire was breaking apart as different clans fought over remaining resources. Diplomat Oh Seo-jun was Earth's new Minister of External Affairs. He was young and smart, and he understood that the galaxy was changing. He sent a message to every species in the Federation, but not to the Federation Council. The human Commonwealth is now accepting applications for membership, the message said. We offer advanced medical technology, economic support, and protection from threats. Any species that wishes to join us need only ask. The response was immediate. Within hours, 50 different species had sent messages to Earth asking for membership. They were tired of watching their people die while the Federation Council argued about pride. The first to officially join was the Kalari Union. Their representative, Ambassador Kira, arrived at Earth in a damaged ship that was barely working. We want to formally request membership in the human Commonwealth, she said. We offer our loyalty and our knowledge. In return, we ask for your help to save our people. Diplomat Oh Seo-jun welcomed her with a smile. The human Commonwealth accepts the Kalari Union as our first member. Human aid ships are already on their way to your worlds. The Zentari Collective was next. Queen Zara herself came to Earth, carried in a medical ship because she was too sick to travel normally. We are dying, she said simply. If you will have us, we will serve the human Commonwealth faithfully. We don't want servants, Oh Seo-jun replied. We want partners. Welcome to the Commonwealth, Queen Zara. Our doctors are standing by to help. Your people. One by one, Federation species began leaving to join the human Commonwealth. The Aquatic Federation, the Crystal Empire, the mining consortiums. Even some of the Spiral Alliance worlds decided to abandon their old allegiances. Each species that joined brought something valuable. Knowledge, resources, or simply the desire to work together instead of apart. The human Commonwealth grew stronger with every new member. Meanwhile, human colonies were spreading across the galaxy at an incredible rate. Using precursor terraforming technology, humans could turn dead worlds into garden paradises in just months. Using precursor manufacturing systems, they could build entire cities in weeks. The 12 systems that Admiral Bay's fleet had discovered were now home to over 50 million humans. New colonies were being established every day, each one more advanced than anything the Federation had ever built. Engineer Nam So-young was overseeing the construction of New Terra, humanity's first megacity built entirely with precursor technology. The city was enormous. It could house 10 million people and still have room for vast parks and lakes. How is this possible? Asked a Kalari engineer who was working with her. Our best cities take decades to build. The precursors were very good teachers, Nam So-young replied. They left us instructions for everything. We just had to be smart enough to find them and wise enough to use them properly. The Federation Council was meeting in emergency session. Once again, the Great Hall was almost empty now. Only about 100 species remained in the Federation, and most of them were starting to have doubts. We are losing everything, said the representative from the binary consciousness. Maybe we should consider joining this human Commonwealth. Never, shouted the Vorthon counselor. We will never bow to humans. Then we will die with our pride intact, said the Kalari representative who had not yet left. While our people suffer and die, we can at least say we never admitted we were wrong. The Vorthon counselor glared at him. Humans are dangerous. This proves it. Look how they're taking over the galaxy. They're not taking over, the Kalari replied. They're fixing the problems we created. They're helping species we abandoned. They're doing what we should have done years ago. The argument went on for hours, but it didn't matter. The Federation was already finished. Every day, more species left to join the human Commonwealth. Every day, the remaining Federation worlds became weaker and more desperate. On Earth, President Kim Jae-hyuk was meeting with his advisors. The reports from across the galaxy were incredible. Humanity now controlled or allied with over 300 star systems. The human Commonwealth had more members than the Federation had ever had. Sir, we've received a message from the Vorthon Council, said his aide. They want to negotiate. President Kim smiled. What do they want to negotiate? They want to discuss a possible merger between the Federation and the Commonwealth. Tell them we're not interested in mergers, the president said. But if they want to apply for membership like everyone else, we'll consider it. Fleet Admiral Yu Mi-rae was commanding the human Commonwealth's new stellar navy. The ships were built with precursor technology and were far more advanced than anything the Federation had ever seen. They could travel instantly across the galaxy, survive in the deepest space, and protect entire star systems. But the most important thing about the stellar navy was that it was not designed for conquest. It was designed for protection and exploration. Humanity had learned from the precursors that true strength came from building up others, not tearing them down. Admiral, we're receiving distress signals from the Rigel system, reported her communications officer. Pirates are attacking the Federation worlds there. Deploy the Third Fleet, Admiral Yu ordered. We may not like the Federation, but we won't let innocent people suffer. The human Commonwealth ships arrived at Rigel just as the pirates were preparing to attack the main colony. The pirates took one look at the advanced human ships and fled without firing a shot. The Federation. Colonists were amazed. Why did you help us? Asked their governor. We voted against you. Because it was the right thing to do, replied the human captain. People in danger deserve help, regardless of politics. Word of the rescue spread across the galaxy. Even Federation worlds that had voted against humanity began to see them in a new light. These were not the dangerous, emotional creatures they had been told about. These were people who risked their lives to help strangers. The last meeting of the Galactic Federation Council took place on a cold morning in the empty hall of Nexus Prime. Only 23 species remained, and most of them had already decided to leave. This is the end, said the Kalari representative. The Federation is finished. The Vorthan counselor sat alone at his table, looking old and defeated. We were right about humans, he said quietly. We said they were unpredictable. We said they would change everything. Yes, the Kalari agreed. We were right, but we were wrong about whether that was a bad thing. The last votes were cast. The Galactic Federation was officially dissolved. Most of the remaining species immediately applied to join the human Commonwealth, but the Vorthan counselor did not. He sat in the empty hall surrounded by the ghosts of what had once been the greatest alliance in galactic history. He had been so sure that humans were dangerous. Now he realized that the truly dangerous thing was driving away the people who could have saved them all. Outside, the galaxy was changing. The human Commonwealth was bringing peace, prosperity, and hope to worlds that had been forgotten. And at the center of it all was a species that had once been rejected for being too emotional, too unpredictable, too human. But that was exactly what the galaxy had needed. 1 year had passed since the Galactic Federation rejected humanity. President Kim Jae-hyuk stood on the observation deck of New Terra Station, looking out at the most beautiful sight in the galaxy. Hundreds of ships from dozens of different species were docked at the station, all working together in peace. Mr. President, it's time, said his aide. President Kim nodded. Today was the day he would address the galaxy. Today, humanity would make its proclamation. The human Commonwealth now controlled 47 star systems. Each system was thriving with advanced technology, healthy populations, and hope for the future. The Commonwealth had over 200 member species all working together as equals. Fleet Admiral Yu Mi-rae commanded a navy that was the most powerful force in galactic history. But her ships were not weapons of war. They were instruments of peace, exploration, and rescue. In the past year, Commonwealth ships had saved over 50 worlds from disasters, stopped 12 different wars, and helped terraform 30 new planets. Admiral, the special mission ship is ready, reported her communications officer. Excellent. Tell Ambassador Park that she can depart whenever she's ready. Ambassador Park Soo-young was humanity's messenger to the galaxy. She was young, intelligent, and absolutely fearless. Today, she would deliver the most important message in human history. Her ship was called the Herald of Tomorrow. It was built with the most advanced precursor technology, combined with human engineering genius. The ship could travel faster than light, survive in the deepest space, and most importantly, it could not be stopped or destroyed by any known weapon. Destination, Nexus Prime, Ambassador Park told her pilot. Yes, ma'am. Opening wormhole now. The space in front of the Herald twisted and opened, revealing a tunnel of swirling energy. The ship disappeared into the wormhole and emerged seconds later in the Nexus Prime system. What Ambassador Park saw there made her sad. Nexus Prime, once the greatest station in the galaxy, was now a shadow of its former self. Only a few dozen ships were docked there, and most of them looked old and broken. Nexus Prime Control, this is the Herald of Tomorrow requesting permission to dock, she said into her communicator. There was a long pause. Herald of Tomorrow, you are not on our approved list. What is your business here? I am Ambassador Park. So young of the human commonwealth, I have a message for the galaxy. Another pause. Please wait. 20 minutes later, Ambassador Park walked into the great hall where humanity had been rejected 1 year ago. The hall was almost empty now. Only 43 species remained in what was left of the Federation, and most of them looked desperate and afraid. The Vorthan counselor was still there, but he looked like a different person. His blue skin was pale. His clothes were worn and his eyes were full of regret. When he saw the human ambassador, he couldn't meet her gaze. I am Ambassador Park Soo-young, she announced to the quiet hall. I bring a message from President Kim Jae-hyuk and the people of the human commonwealth. She activated a holographic projector. The image of President Kim appeared in the center of the hall, looking calm and confident. People of the galaxy, the president began. 1 year ago, you gathered in this hall to judge humanity. You found us unworthy of joining your federation. You said we were too volatile, too emotional, too unpredictable for civilized galactic society. The remaining Federation representatives shifted uncomfortably in their seats. We accepted your judgment, President Kim continued. We did not argue. We did not fight. We simply withdrew from your space and returned to our own worlds. You were right about one thing. We are unpredictable. The president's image paused, and his expression became more serious. In the past year, we have explored regions of space you never knew existed. We have discovered technologies you never imagined. We have built civilizations you thought were impossible. We have welcomed species you abandoned, healed people you could not cure, and brought peace to worlds you left in chaos. Ambassador Park watched the faces of the Federation representatives. Some looked ashamed, others looked angry, a few looked hopeful. We do not come here today to ask for your forgiveness, President Kim said. We do not come to rejoin your Federation. We come to offer you something better. The hologram gestured, and the image changed to show the human commonwealth. Beautiful. Worlds with gleaming cities. Space stations that looked like works of art. Ships that moved like poetry through the stars. And everywhere, different species working together in harmony. The human commonwealth is not built on the idea that some species are better than others, the president explained. We believe that every species has something valuable to offer. We believe that diversity makes us stronger, not weaker. We believe that cooperation achieves more than competition. The image changed again, showing human doctors working alongside alien healers, human engineers building homes for refugee populations, human teachers sharing knowledge with students from 100 different worlds. We offer you advanced medical technology to heal your sick. We offer economic systems to end your poverty. We offer protection from those who would harm you. We offer transportation networks to connect your worlds. Most importantly, we offer you friendship and partnership. The Vorthan counselor stood up slowly. What do you want in return? He asked. President Kim's image turned to face him. Nothing. More than what we have always wanted. To work together to make the galaxy a better place. To explore the unknown. To help those in need. To build a future where all species can thrive. And if we refuse? Asked another representative. Then you refuse, the president replied simply. We will not force anyone to join us. We will not threaten you or punish you. We will simply continue building our Commonwealth with those who choose to be part of it." The image paused again, and President Kim's expression became gentler. "But understand this, we are no longer the species that asked for your acceptance. We are the species that offers it. We are no longer the outsiders looking in. We are the ones building something new and better." The hologram showed the final image, a map of the galaxy with the human Commonwealth's territory marked in blue. It covered nearly half the galaxy, with new systems joining every day. "The choice is yours," President Kim concluded. "You can remain in your failing federation, clinging to old prejudices and dying slowly. Or you can join us in building a new future for all species. The Commonwealth welcomes everyone who comes in peace and friendship." The hologram faded, leaving the hall in silence. Ambassador Park looked around at the shocked faces of the Federation representatives. "I will remain here for one day," she announced. "Any species that wishes to apply for Commonwealth membership can speak with me. After that, I will return to New Terra to deliver your responses to President Kim." She turned and walked out of the hall, leaving the Federation representatives to discuss what they had just heard. The debates that followed were intense. Some species wanted to join the Commonwealth immediately. Others were afraid of admitting they had been wrong about humans. A few still insisted that humans were dangerous and unpredictable, but the numbers spoke for themselves. The human Commonwealth was successful, peaceful, and growing. The Federation was failing, divided, and dying. By the end of the day, 37 of the 43 remaining Federation species had applied to join the human Commonwealth. The remaining 6 asked for time to consider. The Vorthon counselor was the last to approach Ambassador Park. He looked old and tired, but also somehow relieved. "I was wrong about your people," he said quietly. "I let fear and pride cloud my judgment. I convinced others to make the same mistake." Ambassador Park nodded. "We all make mistakes. The important thing is learning from them." "Will the Commonwealth accept the Vorthon Republic?" he asked. "Every species deserves a second chance," Ambassador Park replied. "President Kim has said this many times. We judge people by their actions today, not their mistakes yesterday." The Vorthon counselor felt tears on his blue cheeks. "Thank you." 3 months later, the integration was complete. The former Federation species had joined the human Commonwealth and were already benefiting from advanced technology and medical care. The Zentari plague was cured. The Aquatic Federation's cities were rebuilt. The Crystal Empire was unified again. Captain Hansol, now an elderly advisor to President Kim, stood on the observation deck of New Terra Station. He was watching ships from over 300 different species dock together peacefully. It was the most beautiful sight he had ever seen. "Quite a change from a year ago," said Dr. Kim Yuna, joining him at the window. She was now the Commonwealth's Director of Interspecies Relations. "Yes," Hansol agreed. "They said we were too unpredictable. They were right." "How so?" Hansol smiled. "They predicted we would be angry and seek revenge. Instead, we built something better. They predicted we would be violent and dangerous. Instead, we became healers and protectors. They predicted we would try to dominate the galaxy. Instead, we invited everyone to join us as equals." Dr. Kim nodded. "The most unpredictable thing about humans is that we're sometimes," Hansol said. "Being unpredictable is exactly what the galaxy needs." 5 years later, the human Commonwealth spanned over 400 star systems across 3 galactic arms. The galaxy was more peaceful and prosperous than it had ever been in recorded history. Different species worked